What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live, listening into the power of the internet. And Christmas is coming up, and you might be disappointed that you don't either have an Xbox Series X or, for most of you, a PlayStation 5 under the Christmas tree or already hooked up. And trust me, I understand. I stood in line at the GameStop to try to get an Xbox Series X, and I stayed up all night to get a pre-order for a PlayStation 5. So trust me, I wanted them as bad as anybody else. But now that I've had them for the last 35 odd days, I'm here to tell you I could have definitely waited. You can definitely wait. But that's not what this video is about. I just wanted to reiterate that a month ago when I made that video saying that you should wait, which you can watch right up here, I was right. And I think you can still wait even though it's Christmas and even though we all want to have one for Christmas. What I want to talk about is which gaming console I've used the most, which one I found the most convenient, which one I found the most compelling, and the reasons why. And I'm going to do that clickbaity thing where I wait to the end of the video to tell you which one I've been using the most. But let's start with the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 is absolutely worth every penny. That new controller is absolutely next gen. The UI is great, and the games that it has on it, well, let's be honest, it has no games. It has no games. It currently has no games. I played through all of Astro's Playroom, and then I played through all of Miles Morales, and I did that in just the first couple of days, and then I found nothing left to do but to go through some back catalog of games I've already played on the PlayStation 4. I've ended up subscribing to PlayStation Now to try to find other games I haven't played to see if there's just something out there that I missed. Didn't find a lot of crazy good stuff, but there was definitely some games that were worth playing on the PlayStation 5. And let me tell you, if you play a PlayStation 4 Classic on the PlayStation 5, especially a game you've never played before, oh, it runs so smooth. It looks so good. The loading time is next to nothing. It's really worth the upgrade. If you're the kind of person that can throw away $500 and throw away your old PlayStation 4 so that you can have a better experience playing those same PlayStation 4 games, then yeah, probably worth the money. I think that's not very many people, though. Besides lack of games, there are a few just really annoying things that I find with the PlayStation 5, specifically when it comes to backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 4, and Xbox gets this so much better than they do. I wanted to continue to use my PlayStation 4 Pro so that sometimes I play on my PlayStation 5, and then when I go to bed at night, I can continue playing that game on my PlayStation 4 Pro. And that is just not that convenient on that system due to a lot of the ways it treats PlayStation 4 versus PlayStation 5 saves, the way that it treats the architecture. Fortunately, they did build in the ability to stream your PlayStation 5 to your PlayStation 4 and play it via remote play, which unfortunately, remote play kind of sucks. It's only 1080p, so you're not going to get 4K put out if you have a 4K television, and then it's going to be dependent on how good your Wi-Fi is, and my Wi-Fi is really good, but I still get lag and lost frames and other issues, so I think it's the architecture. I think they need to work that out, and I find that highly inconvenient, because that's kind of how I wanted to use the system to begin with. But the way you will probably use the console, the way that 99% of people will use the console, which is download video games and play them on it directly on their television, it's a dream. I mean, it's a beautiful system. It just needs games. It had no launch library, had a 11-year-old copy of Demon's Souls, Miles Morales, which is glorified DLC, and was that it? Astro's Playroom. At least that was free. But like I said, if you're somebody that can just get rid of their old PlayStation 4 Pro and buy a PlayStation 5 to play their old catalog of PlayStation 4 games, it's pretty good at doing that, except for all the little fiddly bits when it comes to cloud saves and stuff. Then there was the Xbox Series X, and if you think the launch lineup for the PlayStation 5 was low, there's literally no games. Literally no exclusive games for the Xbox Series. That's what we call it? Is that Series X, Series S? There's no exclusives. The only thing you can do with the Xbox Series X is play games that are also available on the Xbox One X or Series One X. Why did they name them like that? Good God. The Xbox Series X does a really, really good job of playing Xbox One X games. I do not own an Xbox Series S, nor did I ever own an Xbox One S, but I did have a base Xbox One. Oh, bad Microsoft. Bad. I mean, there's no arguing that the one that's in the most demand is the PlayStation 5, though both consoles are selling out as soon as they go into stock anyway. But it does look like most people prefer the PlayStation 5, which is a real shame because the Xbox Series X, regardless of its naming convention, is a masterpiece. It's so good. Just like the PlayStation 5, it's got the upgraded graphics card, the upgraded CPU, it's got the upgraded SSD. It does all of that about equally as well as the PlayStation 5, and according to some tech heads, slightly better in some cases, but that's not really going to matter this generation. The Series X uses the exact same UI as the Xbox One generation did, which annoyed me at first, but I have to say, it makes it so awesome for that very weird thing I like to do, which is not throw away the previous console and keep it and go back and play games on it, as well as the new system. I like to go to bed after playing Valhalla for 4 hours in the living room and play Valhalla till I fall asleep in my bed a few hours later. And that was so easy to do with the Xbox because it's all just one ecosystem running on different machines. That ecosystem extends onto PC. It extends onto the Xbox app. And then, of course, eventually Xbox is moving into Project xCloud with the streaming, and it all moves into Game Pass, which you can play on any of these systems, your PC, your old Xbox, your new Xbox. They have done something that PlayStation hasn't even begun to do, which is create this beautiful, awesome ecosystem that is rivaled by nobody. It's rivaled by nobody can even touch it. It's so awesome for gamers. I mean, you probably have a phone in your pocket. You might be watching this on a phone. If you pick up a Series X, due to their streaming plans, if you're buying an Xbox Series X game, you can play it there and then take your phone and stream it directly from xCloud to your phone so you can play it during your lunch break at work and then get back home and start playing it exactly where you left off. They're doing exactly what Google Stadia promised they would do, except you can rent those games or get those games for technically free under Game Pass. It's exactly what we all wanted Stadia to be, except not shitty. And I have to say, because of that UI, because of the app, because of the ecosystem, because of Game Pass, because of the fact that I can play some of those games on my laptop, I've been using my Xbox Series X a lot more than I have the PlayStation. The fact that it also bundled in all of my old controllers and all of my old media remotes, and I can play modern games with all of that old equipment, just, God, it made it so much easier. I really feel bad for Xbox this generation because they're getting their butt stomped already, and they shouldn't be because they're doing a lot right. The good news that you can take from this video is that no matter which console you choose, there isn't a wrong choice this generation. Both consoles are fantastic and powerful, and equally powerful, and they're both going to have some pretty great games based on all of those studios that Xbox bought and all of the announced games that we already have for PlayStation. So no matter which one you get, you're going to be happy with it. But I have to say, for my money, I'm glad I own both, but if I had to give one up right now, I give up the PlayStation and buy it again when new games came out. I'm loving my Xbox. And that comes down to the selection of games I already own, the selection of games I want to play, the ones that I have available on Game Pass versus PlayStation Now, and the ecosystem and the UI that surrounds those two consoles. Because, like I said, they're equally as powerful. So this time it's going to come down to the games you want to play and who you want to play them with, just like every other generation. But if Santa is not able to bring you one this year, I wouldn't worry too much about it until spring or summer of next year. There's not a lot of games that have been lined up and announced, and I think a lot of those games may still get delayed anyway. So Santa can take care of you in 2021. You'll be okay. You're not some spoiled brat. At least you didn't get coal. But that's just one man's opinion. I know I could be wrong, and I know you're going to let me know in the comments section down below. Which system do you want? Were you able to pick one up? Were you lucky enough to be able to pick up both? And if you did, which one have you found yourself using more? Let me know in the comments section down there below. While you're there, watch some more videos. Drop a like on this video. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and do all of those YouTube things that make my videos show up in other people's recommendation boxes. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I will speak with you again soon.